LuoFeng was very clear. With Hong's and Thunder God's monitoring of Earth, even the stronger Emperor-level monsters have been recorded long ago. And the birth of an Emperor-level monster, logically speaking, is a long and arduous process of growth. But a monster Emperor suddenly popping out from some inland lake. Unbelievable. This was also the reason why Hong, Thunder God, and the entire world's countries were paying close attention to this place. My God. Mo Henderson's gaze froze, completely shocked. LuoFeng also carefully stared at the evolving Earth Dragon King, only to see the Earth Dragon King's long body rapidly expanding. Its width, length and color were all changing. Howl. This newly born Earth Dragon King raised its head and let out a painful howl. The horn on its forehead was growing at a rate of about 1 centimeter per second. Its strength was soaring. This kind of soaring speed made even LuoFeng, who had consumed the 1,000-year willow heart and dragon blood, feel shocked. It was like reaching the heavens in one step. Head, it's me, LuoFeng. LuoFeng knew the severity of the situation. LuoFeng, what's the matter? Hong's voice was still cold and calm. Where I am now, there was a strange white crystal that was swallowed by a middle-level horde leader-level Earth Dragon. Now this Earth Dragon, in a short span of 10 seconds, directly evolved to the Emperor level. It's still in the process of evolving. LuoFeng's expression was serious, quickly reporting. Stay where you are, I'll be there immediately. Hong's voice had a rare sense of urgency. At the same time, China had stationed a huge saucer passenger plane on the shore of Misty Island's lake. The other representatives had already gone to explore, leaving China's strongest person, Jia at the command center to oversee the situation. Warning, warning, a rapidly growing life force has been detected. Warning, warning. The round hall resounded with a panicked voice. Jia, who was originally standing there calmly like a rock, had a look of shock on his face. Display the location. Jia ordered. D. The screen on the wall quickly zoomed in, focusing on a certain spot within a 500-meter radius. At the same time, a staff member's voice rang out. Commander, there are 2 Councilman Ranker's life auras here, and just now, a life aura that wasn't that strong suddenly soared, surpassing all the other monster auras around Fog Isle. We can confirm, it should be an Emperor-tier monster. In other words, in just 10 short seconds, a Lord-class monster transformed into a King-class monster. The staff member's voice trembled slightly. Your team has confirmed this conjecture? Jiayi's expression changed. 90% sure, the staff member replied. Continue monitoring. After Jia Yi gave the order, he immediately controlled the tactical communications watch in his hand. Zhuxi, old dang, Tuoba, hurry to the coordinates I gave you, I'll be there immediately. China was not the only country that had this kind of detection device. This kind of detection device had been found in an ancient civilization ruin back then. Because there were many of them, all 5 countries had gotten their hands on them. Therefore, almost at the same time, everyone discovered the uniqueness of this place. After spending so much time without any results, the people of the various countries quickly gathered here. More than 2,000 meters underground, the originally turbulent underground river had now become frenzied. Boom. Just like the center of a 12th-level hurricane, the Earth Dragon King rolled and twisted its huge and powerful body in pain, causing the entire underground river to shake violently, creating waves that smashed against the surrounding rocks. The Earth Dragon King that had become 5 to 6 meters thick and over 100 meters long, every time it rolled and twisted, it caused the surrounding mountains to crumble and the earth to crack. Luo Feng and Ice Emperor floated in midair. The rocks fell, the wind blew, the waves crashed. To the 2-star traveler warriors, it was like a spring breeze. Nothing could get within a 1-meter radius of them. Luo Feng's spirit force easily blocked it. And around the Ice Emperor, a white cold air formed, forming a white barrier, protecting him well. Luo Feng and Ice Emperor looked down at the Earth Dragon King. So what if it transformed? Ice Emperor was a Star Traveler level 3 fighter. Even though Luo Feng was only a Star Traveler level 1 spirit reader, his consciousness was strong, and he had the spirit weapon Soaring Shuttle. His strength was no less than the Ice Emperor's. For the 2 of them to deal with the Earth Dragon King that had just become an Emperor-level monster, any one of them would be able to do it easily. At this time, to Luo Feng and Ice Emperor, killing the Earth Dragon King wasn't important. The important thing was, they had to see clearly just what miraculous effects the white crystal had, just how strong it was. Rumble. A black light pierced through the rocks with a speed that made Luo Feng and Ice Emperor's hearts tremble. It appeared above the underground river. It was the black-clothed Hong. Head. Luo Feng flew over. Hong nodded, glancing at the distant Ice Emperor Mo Henderson. The arrogant Mo Henderson from before, under Hong's gaze, he couldn't help but bow. Right now on Earth, the only one who could converse with Hong was Thunder God. The difference between the others and Hong was too huge. Luo Feng, this is the Earth Dragon King? Hong looked at the Earth Dragon King that was about to finish its transformation. That's it, 20 seconds ago, it was still a middle-level horde leader-level Earth Dragon. Luo Feng confirmed. Mo Henderson? Hong looked at the Ice Emperor. The Ice Emperor bowed. First Chairman, the truth is exactly as Luo Feng said. With just 1 crystal, it allowed a middle-level horde leader level to jump to an Emperor-level monster? Hong creased his eyebrows, unable to believe it. One had to know. Jumping from a high-level horde leader to Emperor level, the difficulty wasn't any lower than the human advanced level Wargod jumping to the Star Traveler level. And the reason why the monster race had more Emperor-level monsters than the human Star Traveler level warriors was because there were too many of them. It was because there were too many monsters. How few human fighters were there. With a large base, it resulted in more Emperor-level monsters. The more here was relative to the human Star Traveler-level warriors. To the entire monster race, the number of Emperor-level monsters was still pitifully small. And now, with just one crystal, it allowed a middle-level horde leader to jump to an Emperor-level warrior. This was equivalent to one crystal, allowing an intermediate-level Wargod to jump to a representative-level warrior. Was that possible? Any human Wargod on Earth had to reach the pinnacle of the advanced-level Wargod level, before their consciousness and other aspects became stronger, finally breaking through with great difficulty. Hong, you found a treasure and you didn't call me? A voice resounded. A white-robed silhouette appeared in the air above the river. Greetings, Thunder God. Luo Feng bowed. Greetings, Second Chairman. The Ice Emperor also bowed. Luo Feng, you really are your head's lucky star. Thunder God smiled. It's a pity. This Earth Dragon has evolved into an Earth Dragon King. Its life energy has suddenly become tens to hundreds of times stronger. The equipment has all been tested. The other countries will probably arrive soon. Just as he finished speaking, a silhouette broke through the mountain rocks and came over. After that, Shio. Star Traveler silhouettes appeared in the air above the river. Earth Dragon King? There's actually an Earth Dragon King? Don't tell me the life energy that became so strong is it? It evolved from a horde leader to an emperor level? Many representative warriors floated in the air above the river, looking down at the Earth Dragon King. The Earth Dragon King had already finished its evolution. Its large eyes were filled with fear as it looked at the humans above. With its intelligence, it had long known that humans that could fly were the true pinnacle warriors, able to fight against emperor-level monsters. Even though it had evolved into an emperor level. But there were too many of them. Chi-Chi, the Earth Dragon King fiercely dove into the river, trying to burrow deep into the ground. Still trying to escape? Hong waved his hand, the black domain immediately spread out, enveloping the Earth Dragon King within. Falling into Hong's heart-palpitating black domain, the Earth Dragon King immediately struggled madly, however it felt like its entire body was tied up by countless ropes, it couldn't break free at all, letting out low roars of pain. Break! Hong waved his hand. A black light shot through the Earth Dragon King's head, pang. The head immediately exploded, brain matter splattering everywhere. Hong and Thunder God immediately carefully examined the Earth Dragon King's broken head. No problem. Hong creased his eyebrows. Just like a normal evolution of the Earth Dragon King. Thunder God creased his eyebrows too. In the air above the underground river, many human warriors floated. The Earth Dragon King that had just evolved into an emperor-level monster was just like that, like a lab rat, killed and dissected. America, China, the European Union, India, Russia, the HR Alliance, all the warriors couldn't help but tremble at Hong's simple act of killing the Earth Dragon King. They all knew Hong was powerful, but every time they saw him attack, it always made them feel powerless and helpless. Luo Feng, tell me again about the crystal from before, explain it clearly. Hong turned and said, yes, head. Luo Feng carefully recalled, emphasizing, this is a white crystal, it was floating above the river before. As though it was incredibly light, strangely floating in mid-air. Moreover, the faint white halo of this white crystal even gave off a trace of light in this dark underground. And there was the smell of rice. Smell of rice? White crystal. Floating? Eating it and letting the monster evolve? Hong pondered. Thunder God was also pondering. Right, there was a horde leader-level monster that ate the white crystal, however, the moment it ate it, its body exploded and died, the white crystal was not damaged at all. Luo Feng added. Ate it, its body exploded? The eyes of Hong, God of Thunder, and even 3 of the councilman powerhouses lit up. Archaeological ruin number 5. A black representative couldn't help but exclaim, his body trembling. It's the Muya crystal, it's the Muya crystal. A Chinese representative also exclaimed. It's the Muya crystal. Hong and Thunder God looked at each other, their eyes filled with passion and madness. The cloud contact vine appeared on Earth, even the universe's most precious Muya crystal appeared on Earth. Thunder God couldn't help but mumble. Muya crystal. Luo Feng, who was beside, was suspicious, repeating the name, just what did the Muya crystal represent? Looking at Hong and Thunder God, these two were the pinnacle existences of Earth, at this moment they couldn't hide the madness in their eyes. Even though he didn't know the use of the crystal, Luo Feng could guess. The Muya crystal was definitely much more valuable than the spirits of nature. In the vast universe it could be considered a treasure. Muya crystal. Luo Feng and the other representatives were all curious, just what exactly was this Muya crystal? Everyone looked towards Hong, Thunder God and the others, but they were all smart people. From Hong's and Thunder God's reactions they could guess. This Muya crystal was definitely a treasure. This is called a Muya crystal? A blonde curly-haired representative from the European Union asked curiously. After eating this crystal, a horde leader monster can actually evolve into an emperor-level monster. If it eats more, won't it become even stronger? Don't tell me the emperor evolved from eating the Muya crystal? Silence. The Earth's warriors floating above the underground river were all silent. Hong and the others who knew of the Muya crystal's uniqueness couldn't help but look angrily at the blonde representative who spoke. The blonde curly-haired representative purposely had a suspicious expression on his face. The 5 who knew of the Muya crystal's uniqueness all knew. The emperor evolved because of the Muya crystal. However, the few who knew the secret didn't want to say it because the moment they did, it would cause chaos. Emperor? Right, this lake doesn't have any environment to give birth to an emperor, it must be the Muya crystal. The emperor ate the Muya crystal, just now the Earth Dragon King also ate the Muya crystal, there must be quite a lot of them. There must be more Muya crystals at the bottom of this misty lake. Let's hurry and find them. All sorts of hushed discussions broke out. Quite a few of them secretly glanced at Hong, Thunder God and the other representatives' reactions. Hurry, 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 let's go find the Muya crystal. Let's go. Be it in English or some other languages, these counselors immediately called out to their comrades or informed their side's command center. In an instant, a large number of representatives either followed the river or drilled through the rock stratum, beginning their crazy search. It was different from before. Before, none of them had a clear target. Now their eyes were all gleaming. Watching the representatives from the other powers leave one by one, Hong and Thunder God looked at each other. I dare say that guy just said that on purpose. Thunder God said softly. No one is an idiot. Hong's expression was calm. Aren't you anxious? You need them more than I do. Thunder God's face revealed a smile. Hong however turned to look at the three behind him. Luo Feng, Allure and Ice Mountain, ordering, there's definitely more Muya crystals in the Misty Islands underground, quickly search as much as you can. Yes, master. Luo Feng and the other two complied. Go. Hong faintly nodded. After which, he swiftly charged into the lake and tunneled deeper into the lake. Luo Feng released his spirit energy domain and swiftly advanced underground. Dojo Master, Thunder God and the others who know of the Muya crystal's effects, did not say what it can do. LuoFeng's gaze was cold. It's exactly because you didn't say it, it proves one thing. This Muya crystal is indeed enough to make people go crazy. On Earth, to obtain treasures from the universe was an extremely rare opportunity. Luo Feng didn't dare relax at all. He quickly explored for about 25 minutes. Luo Feng. A voice resounded from the tactical communications watch. Jai. Luo Feng replied. Congratulations, your dojo master just received a Muya crystal. But 7 or 8 people saw it. Jai said. Oh. Luo Feng was slightly shocked. Within half an hour, the second Muya crystal had been discovered, and the one who obtained it was Hong. After cutting off the transmission, Luo Feng concentrated even more on his exploration. The first was swallowed by a monster, the second was obtained by the head. This underground, there are indeed many Muya crystals. Just 16 minutes later. Within the dark rock layer, the water from the underground seeped through the rock layer, a nauseating smell permeated the air. Luo Feng followed his usual practice and sniffed again. A star traveler's developed sense of smell made Luo Feng immediately detect that within the nauseating smell was a faint rice fragrance. That's it. Luo Feng, with his experience, immediately determined. It's over there. Luo Feng's eyes lit up. So, the black helmet on his head swiftly formed a sharp point, the soaring shuttle beneath his feet exerted force. Chi-chi? The rock layer was even weaker than tofu, it was immediately torn apart. Luo Feng seemed to have transformed into an underground drilling machine, using a shocking speed to rush towards the direction of the rice fragrance. There was a series of roars mixed with curses like, "Oh." Luo Feng rushed straight into the huge underground cave that had already been blasted out by the Star Traveler warriors. The moment he entered, he was shocked to discover. Beside him, a South Asian fighter's body had already been cut in two, sprawled on the rock. Even though his body had been cut in two with his intestines leaking out, his upper body was still struggling. Following which his head drooped down and stopped moving. A silhouette rushed over, kneeling beside him. Maha. You actually killed Maha? Representative Far, you've gone too far. The 3 Indians stared angrily at each other, facing the 4 Star Traveler warriors from the European Union. A Wargod, obediently hand over the Muya crystals. We can still spare his life. If he dares resist, he's looking for death. One of the 4 representatives from the European Union laughed coldly. The 4 of them were representatives, while the other side only had 2 representatives left. Luo Feng. The 4 from the European Union saw Luo Feng arrive, turning and immediately drilling into the rock layer, swiftly leaving. Bastard. The Indian side gritted their teeth. They actually killed someone? Luo Feng looked at the corpse on the ground, following which he contacted the head through his tactical communications watch. Head, I'm Luo Feng. At my current location, the European Union just snatched a Muya crystal from the Indian side, at the same time killing a Wargod fighter from the Indian side. They finally killed someone. Hong's voice resounded through the tactical communications watch. Luo Feng, in that short period of time, the people from the various countries have clashed. This is the first time they've killed someone. You have to be careful from now on. This is a fight between countries and even between dojos. It's undisguised and cruel. Understood. Luo Feng said softly. Representing the various countries to fight for the Muya crystal. Even if they killed someone? Who would judge? No one could judge. Luo Feng glanced at the corpse being collected. Without enough power, obtaining the treasure would be a disaster. After which Luo Feng left. That night, 1056, the first Muya crystal was discovered, swallowed by an earth dragon, following which the transformed Earth Dragon King was killed by Hong. 1131, the second Muya crystal was discovered, acquired by Hong. 1147, the third Muya crystal was discovered, acquired by the European Union side. This was the first time there was a death. From then on, the originally restrained parties no longer held back. All of them became even more bloodthirsty. Late at night, at 012, the fourth Muya crystal was discovered, in the hands of the Americans. This time, the battle between the Americans and the Russians had resulted in a total of 3 representatives from both sides being heavily injured. Amongst the 3 representatives, one of them had his internal organs ruptured. Fortunately, he had consumed the water of life in time, or else that representative would have fallen. From then on, the parties became even more frenzied. Late at night, 1:56, after a gap of almost 2 hours, the 5th and 6th Muya crystals were found at the same time. This time, Thunder God obtained them. Even though the other star travelers were extremely envious, they didn't dare fight for it. 6 Muya crystals had already been discovered, other than one being swallowed by the Earth Dragon. This time, the star travelers gathered around Misty Island had already acquired 5. Our luck is really good, to get 2 Muya crystals in one go. Within the huge underground cave, over 10 star travelers were staring at Thunder God in the middle, his left hand holding the 2 glowing white crystals, making everyone's eyes green with envy. However, even Hong beside him didn't make a move, which other representative would dare to? Head Hong, I'll make a move first. Thunder God smiled at Hong who was rushing over. 2. Hong shook his head helplessly. Let's go, continue searching for Muya crystals. Hong turned and left. The dojo of Limits Beast and Luo Feng who had just arrived also immediately turned and continued searching. One of the 3 personal guards, the one with the strongest power amongst the 3 beast, had just arrived an hour ago. I've already found 5. 1 for the Master, 1 for the European Union, 1 for the United States and 2 for Thor. Luo Feng swiftly descended. In one breath he reached a depth of about 4,000 m, swiftly searching at this depth. In terms of search area, me and the 4th representative Eastbourne are both Star Traveler Spirit Readers. Our search area is the largest. Both of us however haven't found a single Muya crystal. Luo Feng had just seen Thunder God acquire 2 Muya crystals. His heart itched and he continued to search seriously. After about half an hour, Luo Feng sniffed and sniffed again. Right, the smell of rice. Luo Feng let out a look of glee, confirming the direction of the smell and swiftly approaching. Searching for Muya crystals was extremely fast. The moment he hesitated, others might get there first. Chi. After breaking a piece of rock, a hua-hua sound immediately carried over. It turns out that this place was an extremely thin underground stream mixed within the layer of rock. When Luo Feng broke through this layer of rock, a thick smell of rice instantly carried over. Luo Feng turned his head to look. And his pupils couldn't help but to shrink. My God. Luo Feng felt his heart stop beating, blood rushing to his head. Beside the thin underground stream, 3 white lights were bobbing up and down, floating, the thick smell of rice wafting over. 3 Muya crystals. Luo Feng didn't have time to be surprised, he immediately waved his hand. His formless spirit energy was like a huge formless hand, swiftly grabbing the 3 crystals 20 m away and retrieving them. Pung! A rumbling sound. In the distance, 3 silhouettes smashed through the rock. One of them was the Ice Emperor Mo Henderson, the other 2 representatives from the European Union. 3 Muya crystals. The 3 barely saw the 3 Muya crystals. They had already landed in LuoFeng's hands. They're mine. LuoFeng's gaze was sharp like never before. Keep. Luo Feng immediately kept the Muya crystals into his Black God Set's vest. Unless he killed himself, he wouldn't be able to get the crystals. Luo Feng's cold gaze swept past the 2 from the European Union, looking again at the 3rd representative, Ice Emperor Mo Henderson, who had once become a target. Everyone, I'll make a move first. Luo Feng immediately became a black light, drilling into the rock. He actually didn't chase me. That Mo Henderson probably has some reservations after being beaten up by me the last time. Luo Feng flew through the rock stratum, letting out a sigh of relief. He originally thought Mo Henderson and the other 2 would make a move, but they didn't stop him. Once he entered the rock stratum, the 3 couldn't stop him even if they wanted to. The 2 representatives from the European Union watched helplessly as Luo Feng slipped away. They couldn't help but feel anxious and angry. They couldn't help but look at Ice Emperor Mo Henderson beside them. One of them, a middle-aged man with brown curly hair, couldn't help but say, "Third representative, that's a total of 3 Muya crystals. You're just going to watch Luo Feng take them away?" 3. The other said anxiously. Ice Emperor looked coldly at the 2, he had long seen through their plans. He couldn't help but smile coldly. "Bo and Ite, if the 2 of you want the Muya crystals, chase them yourselves. If you want to make use of me, Mo Henderson, you must be dreaming." After saying that, Ice Emperor became a blur and entered the rock stratum, causing large amounts of rocks to tumble down. Only the 2 representatives from the European Union were left in the empty cave. Their bodies were covered in a fire barrier and a pale green barrier, holding up the surrounding rocks. That's weird. How did Mo Henderson's temper change? The 2 representatives from the European Union looked at each other, dumbfounded. Seeing Luo Feng acquire 3 Muya crystals, they were naturally envious. However, Luo Feng was able to kill Li Yao before even stepping into the Star Traveler level. Now that he stepped into the Star Traveler level, his power would definitely be much stronger, definitely not something the 2 of them could handle. It was only natural that they placed their hopes on Mo Henderson to make a move. From their point of view, if the 3rd representative were to act, there was still hope. When the 2 of them joined forces and took advantage of the chaos to acquire a Muya crystal, there was hope too. This Ice Emperor's temper wasn't this good in the past. Is tyranny who doesn't know? He is tyrannical. I thought he would act to stop us earlier, but who knew he didn't even do anything. Bo and I heard this Ice Emperor when the first Muya crystal appeared, he exchanged blows with Luo Feng. The blonde curly-haired white man said in a low voice, at that time I thought it was fake news. Now it seems that the news is most likely true. And the Ice Emperor may have been at a disadvantage against Luo Feng, or in other words, he didn't have the advantage. Oh. The middle-aged man with curly brown hair was slightly taken aback. Unless the Ice Snow Emperor is fearful of him, how could he not care? Previously, for the sake of a single Muya crystal, the Ice Emperor had brought his men to fight against the Russians. This time there are 3. The blonde curly-haired man's eyes lit up. That makes sense. Right, quickly spread the news of Luo Feng's 3 crystals. We can't let Luo Feng get too comfortable. These 2 representatives, including the Ice Emperor Mo Henderson, all quickly spread the news. Luo Feng had acquired 3 Muya crystals. In the depths of the dark underground, the smell of decay filled the air. Luo Feng. A voice resounded from the tactical communications watch on his wrist. Luo Feng heard it and replied, Head. You've acquired 3 Muya crystals? The head's voice resounded from the tactical communications watch. Luo Feng was slightly shocked. The news spread really quickly, it hadn't even been a minute since he acquired the 3 crystals and the head already knew. Many thoughts flashed through his mind. Luo Feng replied, Yes, head. Very good, stay where you are, I'll be right there. Feng said. After a while. Rumble. A black light broke through the rocks and appeared beside Luo Feng. It was Hong dressed in black. Head. Luo Feng bowed. Luo Feng, your luck is indeed not bad. Hong couldn't help but laugh as he complimented. You've acquired 3 Muya crystals according to what we agreed before. 60% of them are yours, that's 1.8 crystals. For now we'll make it a round number, you've acquired 2, the other one belongs to the Dojo of Limits. Yes, head. Luo Feng didn't hesitate, immediately handing over 1 crystal. Hong extended his hand and the fragrant Muya crystal landed in his hand, swiftly keeping it. 2 silhouettes appeared beside him. It was Huaxia's Jia Yi and Zhu Shi who were attracted by the fragrant rice. Seeing Hong and Luo Feng beside them, Jia Yi's heart skipped a beat, he couldn't help but laugh. Greetings first chairman, looks like you've gained something again, congratulations. It's nothing much, it's just that Luo Feng just acquired 3 Muya crystals and gave them to me. Hong said. Oh. Jia Yi looked at Luo Feng, then I really have to congratulate you. After which he turned and brought Zhu Shi, swiftly leaving. After watching the 2 leave, Hong turned to Luo Feng, smiling. Luo Feng, these Muya crystals are very troublesome. If you meet anyone else, just tell them you've given them to me. They won't dare find trouble with you. Even though your current strength is not bad, if a few representatives were to team up against you, it would still be troublesome. Luo Feng nodded. Indeed. The soaring shuttle could only attack one person. If a few representatives were to team up and attack him, with his weak body compared to the other representatives, it would indeed be dangerous. Let's continue. There seems to be a lot of Muya crystals hidden under this Misty Island. Hong let out a rare smile, turning and disappearing into the rocks. Just what are the Muya crystals' effects? Luo Feng watched as the head left, his heart filled with questions. However, the head and the others have been unwilling to say, so I can't ask too much. Forget it. I'll just work hard to collect more Muya crystals for now. There are only benefits and no downsides. After the last time when he acquired quite a few spirits of nature, Luo Feng understood, the chances of acquiring treasures were extremely rare. Naturally, even though he was a star traveler, it was extremely difficult to acquire even a single spirit of nature. This time he had to take the opportunity to get more. At 2:30 a.m., Luo Feng alone acquired 3 Muya crystals, which was humanity's 7th and 9th. After that, it seemed as though humanity's good luck had run out. A full 3 hours passed without a single harvest. At 6:08 in the morning, the Chinese side finally obtained their first Muya crystal, which was also the 10th Muya crystal discovered by the human martial artists. At 8:36 in the morning, India obtained the 11th Muya crystal. Almost at the same time, they discovered the 12th Muya crystal, acquired by Hong. This was a battle that caused all the powers on Earth to go crazy over it. Very quickly, it was 5:31 p.m. of the second day. At this time, the excavation had already gone on for close to 20 hours. Humanity had discovered a total of 18 Muya crystals, other than one that was eaten by an emperor-level monster. The other 17 had all been acquired. Of course, the so-called 18 was public information. Some countries, powers, individuals, discovered a Muya crystal by themselves, quietly keeping it in their pockets without anyone knowing. Even though the public statistics were 18 discovered, 17 acquired. In reality, humanity's fighters had acquired more than 20 Muya crystals. At 5:31 p.m., the various powers on Earth finally welcomed their biggest harvest. A total of 8 Muya crystals, all of them had appeared. The first to discover these 8 crystals were Luo Feng and the HR Alliance's Eastbourne and a group of people. However, the smell of the 8 crystals was too strong. In just a few seconds, the number of star travelers fighting had risen to over 10. More than 10 star travelers were engaged in a chaotic battle on the surging and wide underground river 2,000 meters below the surface. Be careful of Luo Feng. Get out of the way. 2 representatives from America shouted anxiously. Ong. A terrifying spinning sound that seemed to tear space apart rang out. A golden light, like an invitation from the King of Hell, fiercely bombarded the abdomen of a black representative. The SS-grade battle suit on the surface of his body was directly drilled open. Then, the heart-palpitating golden light heavily bombarded the black god set, causing the black representative to fiercely slam into the rock wall at the side. The rock wall shook violently, and then a large number of cracks silently appeared on it. Then, countless gravel directly fell from the mountain wall, rolling down. Pooh! The black representative spat out fresh blood, his body sticking to the wall as he fell powerlessly. Water of life. As the black representative fell, he immediately threw a test tube into his mouth. Gotcha. Immediately biting into the test tube, the water of life within was swiftly absorbed. Pooh! The black representative swiftly spat out the glass shards in his mouth, mixed with a few strands of blood. Get out of the way. LuoFeng roared softly, pointing at the distant warrior Eastborn. Ong! The soaring shuttle that had transformed into a mountain drill, instantly transformed into a streak of golden light and directly arrived in front of the fourth speaker Eastborn as though it had teleported. Eastborn also used his telekinesis power to control many hidden weapons to quickly block the attack. Only then did he manage to dodge the attack by a fluke. Well done. Beside, a tall and strong man with a head full of golden hair, like a lion, punched the star travelers one by one, letting out an excited roar, grabbing a white crystal. Wild beast beautiful. LuoFeng shouted. Allure careful. Ice Mountain shouted from the side. A silver-white light was sneaking towards the Royal Guard Allure. This was a chaotic battle. Within a short 10 seconds the 8 Muya crystals produced a thick rice fragrance, attracting 18 star travelers. Luckily, Ice Mountain, Allure and Wild Beast, the 3 royal guards, were together at the time. With their participation they immediately helped LuoFeng. This gave the Dojo of Limits a certain amount of power in this battle, and they began to snatch the Muya crystals. That's crazy, 8 crystals appearing at once? LuoFeng was still in disbelief. This underground river, the first crystal appeared in the upper reaches of this river. It was carefully searched back then. Who would have thought 8 crystals would appear at once? LuoFeng himself realized, these floating crystals could move on their own. Why isn't the head here yet? Allure shouted. The head will be here soon. Wild Beast roared. LuoFeng fiercely roared. The familiar voice resounded once again. The representatives of the European Union, America, India, and the HR Alliance all felt bitter in their hearts. After suddenly discovering the 8 crystals battle royale, LuoFeng's unique attack had truly become famous. That golden stream of light. His attack speed was extremely fast. His power was extremely great. Even the 3rd representative Ice Emperor couldn't dodge it. Even the 4th representative Eastborn, who was also a star traveler spirit reader, couldn't completely dodge it. Strange, too strange. My spirit energy was just about to exert some external force on his golden light weapon. However, just as I was about to get close, it was ripped apart by that strange golden energy. Eastborn was having a headache as he realized the golden light that the weapon contained was a very special energy. It had an extremely strong tearing force. Even his spirit energy would be ripped apart the moment it got close. Rumble. The surrounding space shook violently, a black silhouette appeared within the chaotic battle of the star travelers. Almost as though time had stopped. The black domain swiftly spread out, almost like a god's domain. In an instant it covered a 100m area, including LuoFeng, and the other 12 star travelers were all caught up in it. What? LuoFeng felt as though he was a normal person with a few hundred kilograms of weight on his body. Even walking or raising his arms was extremely taxing, and there were countless water plants tangling around his arms and legs. Unable to move. Under Hong's domain no one could resist at all, everyone was silent. In the air above the raging river, everyone stopped fighting. Hong picked up the last Muya crystal that hadn't been taken yet, walking towards LuoFeng and the others. Allure immediately reported. Reporting to the head, the 4 of us have a total of 3 Muya crystals. The main thing was that LuoFeng found it. He also played a major role in this battle, intimidating the 3rd and 4th representative. Hong nodded, turning to look at LuoFeng. LuoFeng? Head. LuoFeng replied. Hong nodded. You did well. This time, the battle didn't last more than 30 seconds, and the Dojo of Limits was the biggest beneficiary, receiving 4 Muya crystals. America and the European Union each received 1 Muya crystal, the HR Alliance received 2, and India received none. Watching Hong lead LuoFeng and the others away, the other star travelers all began to discuss. 4 crystals. The Dojo of Limits really earned a lot this time. The main thing was still LuoFeng holding back the 3rd and 4th representative. LuoFeng's attacks are terrifying. So powerful, if it wasn't for the water of life at least 3 representatives would have died under his hands. Even the 3rd and 4th representatives couldn't do anything to LuoFeng. The other representatives discussed softly. In the past, even though they valued LuoFeng, they didn't really care. However, this group of people didn't expect LuoFeng's strength to be on the same level as the 3rd and 4th representatives. They all immediately remembered, never provoke LuoFeng. They all believed. Earth's current strongest were Hong and Thunder God. This was the first tier. After that was LuoFeng, the 3rd, 4th and 5th representatives. These 4 were the 2nd tier. And Jia Yanhai and a few other Star Traveler level 2 fighters, as well as the Star Traveler level 1 fighters with special techniques. There were more than 10 of them. They were the 3rd tier. The remaining 40 or so Star Traveler level 1 fighters, they were the 4th tier. Go. Hurry up and find the Muya crystals. The Indian representatives all shouted. Hurry, hurry, hurry. The Ice Emperor too shouted anxiously. Immediately, the group of Star Travelers swiftly flew away, this Muya crystal feast wasn't over yet.